I'm Juliea Page of Crowning Lotus Doula Services, and I'm here to show you our Lotus Wrap. This is a woven wrap, so it's pretty lightweight. It doesn't have the stretch of the Moby wrap like jersey knit ones, so it's a little bit stronger. You can go up to a higher weight, but you can still use it from newborn on. I like these because they're breathable. They can go in and out of the water, which is really nice. These come with a little pouch sewn on the end so that you can store the whole thing right in there. It all comes apart like this. So it's about 5.5 yards of fabric, but don't be intimidated by that. It actually is very easy once you get it, but there is definitely a learning curve. So this here is the ribbon part, so I sewed that right there so that way you can find the center of it very easily. One of my favorite holds is just a simple, it's kind of like the variation of a traditional Moby wrap, but it's not exactly the same. So I'll show you that here today. I think it's a little bit easier. So the center is on my chest right here, and it's all sprawled out. The anatomy of your carrier is like this. This is the top rail, this would be the body, and this is the bottom rail. Now, I put my elbow in front, and I put this right over my shoulder just like that. So it's just crossed, but everything is nice and flat. And then I do the same thing on this side, and just cross it over. Now I'm looking for that ribbon again. I want to make sure that everything's centered. I can tug and pull however I want. You also want to gauge about how big your baby is. For a newborn baby, obviously you wouldn't need as big of a hole here or as big of a center. Once again, I'm finding the center of my wrap. What I like to do is I like to bring my hand up through the middle and then put his foot right through, and I shimmy him down just like that. So now this, I can still feel the ribbon is right here on his back where it should be, so I know it's pretty centered. If I want to make any adjustments, I can do that. Okay, so we've got the baby in the carrier. We've got his knees higher than his butt. We've got the tag right here in the middle, so that marks the center, so I know that that's centered on him. I put him right where I want him, and then I grab the top rail of my carrier, and I cinch it up, and if you can see, it cinches right here, pulls him closer to me, and then I'm still supporting him here, but I wrap this around, and I hold him with this arm. I do that again on this side. I take this top rail, and I cinch it up, and I, again, wrap him around, so now they're crossed, and it's also crossed at my back. At this point, I gather the fabric, just like so, and then the fabric goes underneath his feet, just like that. At this point, I cross these, and I bring those back underneath his feet, and I go right here, and I tie a knot. Just like that. Now to gather these loose spots, I pull this down, and then I come up like that. That really takes the pressure off of my neck, and it makes my arms more mobile. And as you can see, he's not going anywhere, are you? Nowhere at all. Now if I wanted to nurse him, I wouldn't even have to take him fully out. I would just undo my work like this, and I would loosen it up. So say I was going to nurse on this side, and I would get myself ready. I would attach him to me, and he would be nursing at this point. He'd be latched on, and then at that point I can reach across, and I can grab that, and do that again here. And grab that side. You're latched. Just be latched. And then I do it again. Now the whole time he would be nursing, and it would be fairly discreet, and I would tie back here because I'm going to have less slack to come around the front. And then if I wanted, I could go over his head like that, so it could be extremely discreet. I could be walking around grocery shopping and nobody would know what I'm even doing. So as you can see, it's very, very convenient. And then to take them out, you just undo all your work. You're always supporting your baby with the one hand. And then up. Ta-da! Just like that. And then when you're done, you can find the end that's sewn together like this. As you can see, it's got a little pocket right there, and you can just shove your entire carrier right into it.